I mostly read public domain books here on Glenn Reads Books to You, and they were written a long time ago, so they're usually racist, or sexist, or bigoted, but in there somewhere is a story, and that's why those stories are famous. Other times, I read works from independent authors, and they're delightfully not racist, but they might have adult language or adult situations, like, making sex. So that's your warning, but I'm sure you're grown up enough to handle it. Don't write to me complaining. I'm not moving. I refuse to move. I've been here for a full week. Oh, God damn it. All right, fine. Come take a seat, you little idiot. I was just reflecting on the fact that since last week, I've not left this chair. I've crapped myself, I've pissed myself, and I've reached for anything I can eat without ever getting my butt out of this seat. Why? Because I refuse to use my goddamn knees. I've been to the physical therapist. They say, oh, you're doing great. When you go to Germany, you're going to be hiking all over the place without any problems. Except that my knees are like swollen and full of pain. And they're like, your knees are healthy and fantastic. They're not, because I can't freaking walk. But anyways, so here I am. Welcome to the Glenn Reads Books to You mansion. It's a fun little bit where I pretend to live in a mansion and not just recording my basement. This is where I read the hottest public domain books and short stories. This week, we're gonna read James Joyce. You know what? Let's drop the pretense of me talking about the author and then waiting for the grandfather clock to go off, tell me to shut up and start reading the story. James Joyce, born February 2nd, 1882, and died January 13th, 1941, was a very talented person. And he married someone, and after his death, she didn't destroy the love letters that he wrote to her. And I think this relationship you and I have been building for a while, we finally reached a point where I think we're in a good spot where I can read his love letters before he married his wife to you. But I don't want to do it here. I feel that it might be too aggressive. I feel that you might be intimidated. The fact that I'm the host of this show, I have a certain kind of authority that you might feel that I'm taking advantage of. So what I would like to do is I would like to meet in a neutral place. Some place where you don't feel threatened, where you feel safe. Here, us alone in my little, what is this? The foyer? I forget where the hell. The drawing room. We're in the drawing room. It's just one-on-one, and you might feel intimidated. I don't want you to feel that way, but I feel like you must learn about James Joyce and these letters that no one destroyed about what he wrote to his wife. Highly sexual in nature, And I don't want you to feel intimidated while you're here with me. So I want to take you someplace. Why don't you come with me for a second? Just follow me. We're gonna go someplace public. Yep, just over here. The park is just kind of past my backyard and just kind of over this through the woods here. It's fine. I know this comes off creepy. I understand it comes off creepy. Just be quiet. It's fine. I shouldn't say be quiet. That's too intimidating. This is a very delicate topic, but just come with me, and we're going to go to this park, and I'm going to sit, and I'm going to read you the letters from James Joyce to his wife, if you just... God, my knees. Okay, there's the bench. See, it was safe the whole time. Just have a seat here on this bench, here at this park where there's a lot of people around. And just try to relax and try to trust me as I read to you the love letters of James Joyce. There you go. Why don't you take a seat? My wife told me about James Joyce's love letters to Nora, his wife. A couple of years ago, she said it one time after we had done making coitus, where she whispered her remembrances of his poems into my ear as I gently fell asleep. But I thought I should share it with you, because James Joyce, who's written Ulysses, amongst other things, was a prolific writer, a very talented person, and kind of a complicated man, as you're going to find out now. Here, amongst all these people at the park, you hear the children playing there over the playgrounds, and the parents screaming at the kids, and the birds chirping. This is a very calming and public area for me to let you know about this. That I have gotten from the parisreview.org. I'll just give you a little background that they've already written on their article for your benefit. On Nassau Street in Dublin on June 10th, 1904, 22-year-old James Joyce saw the 20-year-old Nora Barnacle. Barnacle's her last name? That's really unfortunate. Then a young chambermaid sauntering by. Norma would later tell the story of their first meeting often, though she often told it differently. Sometimes she said Joyce wore a sailor's cap. Yeah, that's jaunty. And other times she said he wore a big white sombrero. That's weird. And a long overcoat that hung down to his feet. Joyce proposed a date, and Barnacle agreed. Although Joyce went to the appointed place at that appointed time, she never showed. He wrote to her, "Oh, I may be blind." Oh, he's famous for not seeing very well. He was going to doctors for it his whole life and everything. "I may be blind. I looked for a long time at the head of the reddish-brown hair and decided it was not yours. I went home quite dejected. I would like to make an appointment, but it might not suit you. I hope you will be kind enough to make one with me. If you have not forgotten me!" Exclamation point. A few days later, on that very likely June 16, 1904, the date on which Joyce would later set Ulysses. Oh, God, dogs. They had their first proper date, though it was far from proper. Joyce took Barnacle east, past the docks and the harbor, to the deserted area of Dublin known as Ringswald. There, to Joyce's surprise and gratitude, Barnacle slipped her hand down his trousers and, quote, "made me a man." By October, the couple had eloped to Zurich. Though the couple did not officially marry until 1931, their unconventional relationship was passionate till the end. The letters below were written when Joyce returned to Dublin alone for the first time in 1909, in an attempt to get Dubliners published, his book. They were delightfully, shockingly dirty. Read in full. They are also quite charming, are they? In the absent spaces, we can hear Nora's enthusiastic, just as naughty replies, and the longing of a man who wants nothing more than to be home. His correspondences were first published in 1975 with the selected letters of James Joyce, now out of print. These letters, or excerpts of them, have been floating around the internet for some time now, but they have merit. Multiple joyous rereadings. Happy birthday, James Joyce. May we all find a soulmate whose farts we could know anywhere. Well, with that, why don't we start reading some of these delightful love letters? 3rd of December, 1909, 44 Fauntleroy Street, Dublin. My darling little Covenant girl, there is some star too near the earth, for I am still in a fever lit of animal desire. Today, I stopped short often in the street with an exclamation whenever I thought of the letters I wrote you last night and the night before. Oh, out! They must read awful in the cold light of day. Perhaps their coarseness has disgusted you? I know you are a much finer nature than your extraordinary lover, and though it was you yourself, you hot little girl, who first wrote to me saying that you were longing to be fucked by me, yet I suppose the wild filth and obscenity of my reply went beyond all bounds of modesty. Oh, when I got your express letter this morning, she sent an express letter, and saw how careful you are of your worthless ship, I felt ashamed of what I had written. Yet now, night, secret sinful night, has come down again on the world, and I am alone again writing to you, and your letter is again folded before me on the table. Do not ask me to go to bed, dear. Let me write to you, dear. Seems fine enough. I mean, it's a little sexy. He's using the word fuck back in the 1920s, but whatever. As you know, dearest, I never use obscene phrases in speaking. You have never heard me, have you, utter an unfit word before others? When men tell in my presence here filthy or lecherous stories, I hardly smile. Yet you seem to turn me into a beast. Oh, it was you yourself, you naughty, shameless girl, who first led the way. It was not I who first touched you long ago down at Ring's End. It was you, who slid your hand down inside my trousers and pulled my shirt softly aside and touched my prick with your long, tickling fingers and gradually took it all. Fat and stiff it was, that's the way to describe it, into your hand and frigged me slowly until it came off through your fingers. All the time bending over me and gazing at me out of your quiet saint-like eyes. Oh, it was your lips, too, which first uttered an obscene word. I remember well that night in bed in Pola. Tired of lying under a man one night, you tore off your chemise violently and began to ride me up and down. Perhaps the horn I had was not big enough for you. I remember that you bent down to my face and murmured tenderly, "Fuck up, love." Fuck up, love. What, like thrust up inside it? This is wild. Nora, dear, I am dying all day to ask you, 1 or 2 questions. Let me, dear, for I have not told you everything I ever did, so I can ask you to. I wonder, will you answer them? When that person whose heart I long to stop with the click of a revolver put his hands under your skirts, did he only tickle you outside, or did he put his fingers or finger up inside you? If he did they go far enough to touch that little cock at the end of your cunt? Oh my God. Or did he touch you behind? Was he a long time tickling you and you came? Did he ask you to touch him, and did you do so? And if you did not touch him, did he come against you, and did you feel it? Another question, Nora. I know that I was the first man that blocked you, but did any man ever frig you? Blocked? Now I gotta know what his lingo is all about. Did that boy you were fond of ever do it? Tell me now, Nora, tell the truth. Honesty for honesty. Were you with him in the dark at night? Did your fingers never unbutton his trousers and slip inside like mice? Or fingers are like mice? Did you ever frig him? I love the word frig. Dear, tell me, or truly anyone else, did you ever never feel a man's or a boy's? Why a man or boy? What is going on here? Prick in your fingers until you unbutton me? And if you are not offended, do not be afraid to tell me the truth. Darling, tonight I have such a wild lust for your body that if you were here beside me, and even if you told me with your own lips that the half of the red-headed burp louts of Galway had a fuck, that's 2 hads in a row, his letters, he's using had, a fuck at you before me, I would still rush at you with desire. God almighty, what kind of language is this I'm writing to my proud blue-eyed queen? Will she refuse to answer my coarse, insulting questions? I know that I'm risking a good deal in writing this way, but if she loves me, really, she will feel that I am mad with lust, and that I must be told all. Sweetheart, answer me. Even if I learn that you too have sinned, perhaps it would bind you closer to me. In any case, I love you. I've written and said things to you that my pride would never again allow me to say to any woman. Oh, my darling Nora, I'm panting with eagerness to get your replies to these filthy letters of mine. I write to you openly because I feel now that I can keep my word with you. Oh, don't be angry, dear Nora, my little wildflower of the hedges. I love your body. I long for it. I dream of it. Speak to me, dear lips that I've kissed in tears. If this filth I have written insults you, bring me my senses again, and the lash as you have done before. She's whipped him before? God help me. I love you, Nora, and it seems that this, too, is part of my love. Forgive me. How are you doing? You upset? Nah, you seem okay. Let's read the next one. 8th of December, 1909. My sweet little whorish Nora. I did as you told me, you dirty little girl, and I pulled myself off twice when I read your letter. I am delighted to see that you do like being fucked arseways. Yes, now I can remember that night when I fucked you for so long backwards. It was the dirtiest fucking I ever gave you, darling. My prick was stuck up in you for hours. Oh, fucking in and out under your upturned rump. I felt your fat, sweaty buttocks under my belly, and I saw your flushed face and mad eyes. Oh, and every fuck I gave you, your shameless tongue came bursting out through your lips. And if I gave you a bigger, stronger fuck than usual, fat, dirty farts came spluttering out of your backside. I haven't read all this before diving in, so this is surprising to me, too. I didn't realize it was going to go in the direction of... I knew that there was farts involved, thanks to my wife whispering it to me late at night after we'd made coitus, but I didn't realize it was going to be like this. So, gave you a bigger, stronger fuck than usual. Fat, dirty farts came spluttering out of your backside. Yeah. I had an arse full of farts that night, darling, and I fucked them out of you. Big, fat bellows, long, windy ones, quick little merry cracks, and a lot of little, tiny, naughty farties, ending in a long gush from your hole. Oh, it is wonderful to fuck a farting woman when every fuck drives one out of her. I think I would know Nora's fart anywhere. I think I could pick hers out of a room full of farting women. Oh my God, this is too much. The visuals, I'm not going to get into it. I mean, what else can I say? It's so obvious. And also, a room full of farting women is like, that one's Nora. It is a rather girlish noise, not like the wet, windy fart, which I imagine fat wives have. It's a sudden and dry and dirty, like what a bold girl would let off in fun at a school dormitory at night. Oh, I hope Nora will let off no end of her farts in my face. Oh, God, so that I may know their smell also. When you say I go back, you will suck me off, and you will want me to lick your cunt. You little depraved blackguard. What does blackguard mean? I'm reading this off a browser, so I'm not going to look that up. I hope you will surprise me sometime when I am asleep, dressed. Steal over me with a whore's glow in your slumberous eyes. Gently undo button after button in my fly of the trousers and gently take out your lover's fat Mickey. Oh, I've never thought about calling a penis a Mickey before. Lap it up in your moist mouth. Oh, God, that doesn't sound attractive at all. And suck away until it gets fatter and stiffer and comes off in your mouth. Sometime, too, I shall surprise you asleep. Lift up your skirts and open your hot drawers gently. Then lie down gently by you and begin to lick lazily around your bush. You begin to stir uneasily, and then I'll lick the lips of my darling's cunt. And you'll begin to groan and grunt and sigh and fart with lust in your sleep. Farting with lust. Then I will lick up faster and faster, like a ravenous dog, until your cunt is a mass of slime. Oh, gross. And your body wriggling wildly. Okay. Good night, my little farting Nora, my dirty little fuckbird. There is one lovely word, darling, you have underlined to make me pull myself off better. Write me more about that and yourself sweetly, dirtier and dirtier. Okay, so we're seeing a progression. The first letter was subdued. The next one involves a lot of farting and slime. 16th of December, 1909. My sweet, darling girl. At last, you write to me. You must have given that naughty little cunt of yours a most ferocious frigging to write me such a disjointed letter. As for me, darling, I am so played out that you would have to lick me for a good hour before I could get a horn stiff enough to even put in you. That's weird. To say nothing of blocking you. What's blocking? I have done so much and so often that I'm afraid to look to see how that thing I had is after all I have done to myself. Darling, please don't fuck me too much when I go back. Oh, fuck all you can out of me for the first night or so, but make me get myself cured. The fucking must be done all by you, darling, as I am so soft and small now that no girl in Europe except for yourself could waste her time trying the job. Fuck me, darling, in as many ways as your lust will suggest. Oh, fuck me, dressed in your full outdoor costume with your hat and veil on. What? your face flushed with the cold and the wind and the rain, and your boots muddy, either straddling across my legs when I am sitting in a chair or riding me up and down with the frills of your drawers showing and my cock sticking up stiff in your cunt, or riding me over the back of the sofa. Fuck me naked with your hat and your stockings on only flat on the floor with a crimson flower in your hole behind. Oh, what? Gross. Riding me like a man with your thighs between mine and your rump very fat. Fuck me in your dressing gown. Oh, I hope you have that nice one. That's in parentheses. That's weird. And with nothing on under it, opening it suddenly and showing me your belly and thighs and back and pulling me on top of you on the kitchen table. Fuck me into you arseways, lying on your face on the bed, your hair flying loose, naked, but with a lovely scented pair of pink drawers open shamelessly behind and half slipping down over your peeping bum. Fuck me if you can, squatting in the closet with your clothes up, grunting like a young sow, doing her dung, and a big fat dirty snaking thing coming slowly out of your backside. What the hell? Fuck me on the stairs in the dark like a nursery maid fucking her soldier, unbuttoning her trousers gently and slipping your hand into his fly and fiddling with his shirt and feeling it getting wet. And then pulling it gently up and fiddling with his two bursting balls, and at last pulling out boldly the Mickey she loves to handle and frigging it for him softly, murmuring into his ear dirty words and dirty stories that other girls have told her, and dirty things she said, and all the time passing her drawers with pleasure and letting off soft, warm, quiet little farts behind her in her own girlish cocky, as stiff as his, and suddenly sticking him up in her and riding him. Basta per Dio. I have come now. Oh, God, and the foolery is over. Now for your questions. We are not open yet. I send you some posters. We hope to open on the 20th or the 21st. Count 14 days from that, and 3.5 days for the voyage, and I am in Tristy. Get ready. Put some warm brown linoleum on the kitchen and hang a pair of red common curtains on the windows at night. Get some kind of cheap, common, comfortable armchair for your lazy lover. And do this above all, darling, as I shall not quit the kitchen for a whole week after I arrive. Reading, lolling, smoking, and watching you get ready the meals and talking to you. Oh, how supremely happy I shall be. God in heaven, I shall be happy there. I figlioli, il fuoco, una bona magneta, una cafe nero, un Brazil, il pickle. Okay, he's just saying words. Nora mia, Nora, Norella, Norcusia, etc., etc. Eva and Eileen must sleep together. Get some place for Georgie. I wish Nora and I had 2 beds for night work. And I'm keeping, and she'll keep my promise, love. Time fly on quickly. I want to go back to my love, my life, my star, my little strange-eyed Ireland. 100,000 kisses, darling. Well, with that, why don't we get up and walk back to the mansion? Come on, get up here. Come on, walk with me. There we go. And we can talk about what the hell we just read. I gave you kind of a sampling from this Paris Review website, or is it? I don't know what the hell it's called. But we learned that there's kind of a beginning, middle, and end with these letters. They're not all the letters. It's just a sampling of the letters. They get real bad. Actually, I've in the show notes, when I say go ahead and read the book here, there's no book to read. You can just go to the link, which is Funny or Die, where they have famous people read some of his letters. And those letters can be pretty bad. Like, it's the stuff I made sure to skip over. A lot of them have a lot of scat play. So if you click the link, you can find out a famous actress who is reading about being pooped all over. The first letter starts out kind of sheepish. a little bit like, hey, did I talk too dirty last time? I'm sorry if I offended you. I haven't heard from you in like 4 weeks, because when you write a letter, it takes weeks until someone writes back again. It could take like a month or something, depending on how like the man on the horse dragging the letters in his bag can get to your to your town. So he's like, oh, I hope I didn't offend you. And on top of it, are you still having sex with that guy? Which says, well, that doesn't sound healthy. You're writing to her like you're still having sex with and you said you're attracted to like some boy or something. That was in the first letter. And are you still attracted to that boy? Do you fantasize about this? It's like, well, this isn't healthy. This is not good. But I kind of wonder, I don't know anything about James Joyce's personal life. I didn't really dig in too deep this time about what his life was like. But I kind of wonder, like, is she your first sexual experience? Because, oh my God, what an over-the-top sexual experience you could have for your first time. So I think that she's pretty open about the people she has sex with while she's still, like, having sex with him. And he's kind of being accepting about it because he just wants someone to like him. He wants to be in a relationship. That's kind of my suspicion, which doesn't sound healthy. And so then he openly embraces what a lot of people would think is flaws. Farting during sex is something that can definitely happen. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about that with myself or people or anything, or the fact that I sometimes wake up with feces in my underwear in the morning in my bed. That's not something you need to learn a lot about. But things like this is fine. It's not something you open with. You don't have a sexual experience with someone for like the first, second, third time, and you're just farting all over them. That's intentional at that point. You try to hold it in. Trust me, I've had gas in my butt during the act of coitus in the past, and I've tried really hard not to let it slide out. When it does, it's fun. Everyone giggles. Great time. But you kind of know each other at that point. He seems like she's just this weird ass lady who's like standing over him like, I want you to watch me, touch it, and I'm going to stand over you, and you just sit there and watch it. I'm going to fart on you. And as you see from the link I put in my show notes, she was very much into pooping, and to the point where he's like, poop on me. You're my special bride. Come poop on me, bride. And it was intense. I kind of wonder if he would be this gung-ho if he... I mean, maybe it's a perfect alignment. Like, he met her, she was like a housemaid or something, so he's already, like, kind of taking advantage of her. But maybe he's already had that in him to begin with, and then met the perfect person just right for him. Great. I'm not trying to kink shame anyone. This is, like, all consensual. Totally fine. But I kind of wonder, like, were you with anyone before? Because it seems like you're accepting a lot. But in either case, it moves on to the farting and all the other stuff. I don't know what to walk away with this. I think the fact that who published these things? There was some friend or family member that decided, like, how did they find him to begin with? I had to dig around for a while, and I finally found a reference that he apparently had all of these stored away in some book that he didn't really care about, and it was just in his library. So then, like, this person, after he died, they found this book, and all these letters fell out. They were reading them, they're like, oh my God. So it's back in a time when people wrote letters, because you didn't hear from anyone for a long time, so then you're like... I'm going to send this out to you, and I'm going to fill it with as much information as possible because I probably won't hear from you for like a month or something. And so they used to like publish that stuff. I mean, you can see it from a lot of famous authors from before the 1960s. Like, they just have a book of a collection of letters because they took the time to like write it and make it sound fancy and be really introspective. And because you never really talk to these people that often. It's not like we deal with like text and email. I can talk to someone. I got a friend in Japan, and I'll be like, "What's going on?" And then she'll write back, not much. And that's the end of it for 6 months. But back then, with letters, it's like going to take forever to get there, so you just pack in a lot of information. So they published his letters. So I guess they unpublished the book, but they had a book about all of his correspondences with other people, and then they threw this stuff in. who's the jerk that saw these letters fall out of the book and said, this has got to go in his book of letters? Wow. Did they dislike him? I don't know much about him. I should probably dig in more deeply, like I do with all my authors, and find out they're horrible people. I'm sure James Joyce is a horrible person. Somebody disliked him and saw these letters and said, let's make him look like an idiot. Which is too bad, because he wrote Ulysses. Well, anyways, what we can learn from this is, if you've ever dated anyone and there was like little nudes, selfies going back and forth, maybe some dirty texts or anything, try to find a way to scrub that off the internet. And try to just hire someone, like a lawyer or something, that after you die, they take your phone and your laptop and just slide it into the garbage, so that no one ever knows if you ever had any kind of weird sexuality. Because especially if for any weird reason you get famous, oh my God, all that stuff's out there. And now if they publish a book of your letters, it's going to involve any pictures you might have sent, or drawings. I'm big on drawings. Most of the people I dated, I do a lot of drawings of what, I'd like to think my phallus looks like. Well, in either case, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.
Well, it appears you found me in the part of the podcast I hate the most, where I tell you all about the places on the internet where you can find me. You can tell I hate this because of the sound effects making it sound like a stormy night in the drawing room of the damned. Now, are you cool? I like cool people. It's the reason why I got involved in this business to begin with, just to meet cool people, not losers. So if you're cool, feel free to go over to my website, nuzzlehouse.com. But if you go there, you get to hear some of the other stuff that I and my wife work on, like the Radio Mystery Theater show, where we try to recreate the same show that used to be on in the 70s, but they don't make any episodes anymore. So we make our own, and we just steal all their commercials. And also, Just Stay in the Curious Mind, we made a Christmas album. If you go to our link tree, you can see that we made a Christmas album. It's the first thing we did after getting married, which I think everyone should do when they get married, is start talking about the Christmas album they're going to make. And since I think you might be cool, you can always just email me directly, glenn.nuzzles@gmail.com. But don't email if you're a nerdlinger or a dork. Now, back to business. I can't believe I drank all of them already. There's got to be one left.